Hello my friends, it's episode 8. I'm joking. It's episode 10. I got into some sort of mental funk where I just kept on saying it was episode 8 repeatedly. It's not, I promise. Okay, we are past the deadline for the workshop strategy. We can't do it. We're like literally hours behind the deadline. So I'm not going to bother building a workshop. I'm going to go straight into cybernetics because I need to use that meld that I've been collecting. And frankly, the second month is incredibly difficult unless you have some edge. Like laser weapons, mechs, something. You need something, or it's going to be a really hard time. So it's still possible. So here's the thing. It's still possible for me to do the satellite spam strategy. But in order to execute it,
I'm still having a hard time grasping what it is the aliens are hoping to accomplish here. Are they studying us?
one second.
Why abduct humans seemingly at random? There must be a pattern that we haven't established yet.
Okay. I can still do the satellite spam strategy and not lose anybody. If I get the second abduction before day 15. However, if you go for engineers then and build the if you go for engineers then and build the satellite uplink, then you cannot get any scientists until the end of the council, until the council report comes, and then you'll gain some amount of scientists for existing. And that will put you behind research-wise quite severely. But you will be rich. You will be rich. You will be wealthy. That is for certain. But I think I'm just gonna no bother. Meld. Everything must meld.
So, what is it, Doctor?
Why, it's Deus Ex Machina.
Remarkable. The crystalline structure housed within the canister is actually a suspension containing billions of cybernetic nanomachines, each made up of both organic and mechanical components.
My team's analysis indicates these microscopic robots are capable of assembling mechanical structures with unprecedented efficiency. With further study and some specialized facilities, we may be able to engineer a sort of cybersuit that interfaces with the human body.
My team is more interested in the possibility of physically altering the tissue itself, incorporating aspects of the alien's own genetic adaptations by using the nanites to fuse the foreign material.
The commander will have to decide where the greatest advantage lies. Is there anything you agree on?
Given the apparent purpose of the nanites, they allow combining organic materials with one another, or with machines. We have at least agreed to call them
Meld.
Meld. That's the most civilized argument ever. Sweet! Look at all these goodies. Oh look, you get 40 meld just for doing the research. Sweet. Do you know what's funny? These labs count as workshops and laboratories, which is pretty funny. Because, as you can see, I haven't unlocked laboratories yet, so I can build a more specialized laboratory, but I can't build a simple laboratory. Because that makes perfect sense. Most of the gene therapies are just not useful early on, or like they're very marginal at this difficulty, whereas the old mech suit is just a huge power upgrade. Right.
This technology has a number of potential applications. I'm sure the science team is eager to begin. I'll notify you as soon as we have something significant to report.
Let's go. Only 3 power and 50 smed bucks to build it as well. So cheap. This is truly the best way to get a power increase between now and the second month. Now that does mean that I no longer have enough power to build the second satellite uplink, but we've already... Well, actually, I guess you do have enough power to just squeeze it out. So you want a satellite uplink here, 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 and here. And then you want power here, 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 and here. And then if you have to, if in my case I've got steam here as well, so if I have to I can expand down to here for steam and maybe put Illyrium here and then sack off the power plants on the top floor. But I really doubt we'll have the money and resources to pull off all of that. Right, I don't think... Let me just double check the date and time. We got 2 days left for the satellite spam strategy to work if we're going to execute on it. But I think I probably want to avoid it. How long until that area is dug out? 3 days. I should have been digging that from the offset. I just forgot all about it. We just presumed that the tile most close to the access shaft would actually be drilled out, because it usually is. But anyway, it shouldn't impact. Let's see. Let's... Stop! Okay, yeah, it's not happening. That's fine. So the most satellites we're going to be able to utilize is 3. No, 1, really. During this month, 1. But what we can do is we can just... We could kick off 4 and just cancel them if we... Ah, man. I'm still in the mindset of if I get the abduction before day 15, I'm gonna build an uplink and spam satellites. I sort of feel like it would be wise to go research, because the second month is gonna be a struggle without research. But then again, I'm gonna have mechs, and I can really lean heavily into them. Alright, let's set up the 4 satellites. Screw it. Why not? And if it doesn't work out... Right, that can go. If it doesn't work out, we can... Is it just me, or are these all selling for a lot of money? Oh, because it's a power source that's damaged. Yeah, its flight computers are $20 if they're damaged, and 40 if they're complete. And these are 30 if they're damaged, I think 70 if they're complete. That's why. Just give me that extra money for now. I'll build the 4 satellites. Why not? And then I'll make the decision on executing the strategy, presuming that I'm allowed to do it. In order for me to be able to make that choice, the second abduction mission has to appear before day 16. Then it's up to me as to whether I want to spam satellites to save all the council members in the first month. Or take the scientists, which is going to make combat easier.
Excavation complete.
This is going to be an episode of building, I think. Off you go. So yeah, I would build satellite here and power here. But as it stands, I have enough power to build whatever I want at the moment. Probably not necessary to plop down the power generator just yet. Does it actually mention what the maintenance cost is for it? Or is there one? I really hate the way that the descriptions for things in this game do not actually tell you what the maintenance costs are for everything and how long they take to build. Seriously, guys. Seriously, guys, not cool. Okay, 4 days. You know, I could kick off power. The only thing is that, you know, do you want to pay the maintenance cost for it at this early phase in the game? Because you don't need it. I don't need it right this second. Do you know what? Let's just do it. One thing about impossible difficulty is there's just so many aliens to be killing. Speaking of research, actually. Okay, that does require 2 flight computers to research. But there will be opportunities to get plenty more of them in the future. To be fair. It's kind of interesting to have the to have access to this so early. I'm pretty sure that this is the research that unlocks the firestorm. Let's get that power generator running, what the hell. Oh yeah, look, maintenance costs 11. So that's 11 SMED bucks we're going to lose if we run that from the offset. Let's have a think. What would I want to build this month? that I could realistically afford. If I get power and I excavate this, I would want to put my officer's lab there. My officer training school, but it's quite expensive and I'm not in a rush to get it. So, no, there's no need to build an access lift or power right now because I can't afford anything anyway, really. Not without wholesale selling absolutely everything, which you can do, but it doesn't make sense to do it really, unless there's some compelling reason. The abduction's in time. The abduction is in time. So now I really do have to make that choice. Okay, so let's talk about this some more. If I take the abduction for engineers, then I can, as soon as that mission is complete, the money generated from that mission and the engineers generated from that mission will allow me to immediately deploy satellite uplink now. Which allows me to deploy satellites just before the council report, which allows me to keep every nation alive, or every nation within the council, for month 1, which leads to an unprecedented influx of money. However, if I do that and I don't take the scientists, then I am going to have no ability to push scientific progress for a while, and that's going to make the combat a lot harder. But because this is enemy within, I've got early access to mechs, and mechs are actually quite a big power increase. I mean, your baseline mech is arguably better than any sort of level 1, 2, 3, 4 soldier, even with perhaps energy weapons. So, if we lean really heavily on mechanizing early on, we can compensate for that situation. It's greedy, but it's not necessarily the biggest deal. If you go into the second month with with slow science, I guess your biggest issue is that it's strategically, I guess your biggest issue is that your weapons program for your interceptors is going to be behind as well, which means intercepting the floaters is going to be an issue. But you will have a lot of money, so you can start deploying everywhere quickly. Oh man, I'm really tempted to just go for it. Man, I burnt 20 minutes just talking about the whole situation. This is a huge decision, and I actually need to sit and think about it. This decision is going to chart the course of this run for the whole rest of the game, pretty much. It's a choice between deploying satellites like they're candy and just keeping all the council members by nature of having satellites above their territories, but being behind research-wise quite severely. Although you will get a scientist influx at the end of the month, which is going to help. It's going to at least unlock laboratories for you. So you will be able to pick up the pace with your program. But the question is whether I'm going to be able to survive the combats until then. By leaning heavily into mechs. That's the choice. Or the safer play combat-wise is to go for the researchers, which is going to speed up all the research, and let the council members fall. Also, getting 40 meld with the facility is amazing. Speaking of the meld facility, I am totally going to mechanize my garbage sniper. May she find talent in mechanization that she lacked in life, because she's too incapable as a sniper to be anything but a liability. Man, she looks so angry to hear me dressing her down like this, but hey. Alright, I'm going to go away and I'm going to think about it. I'm going to think really hard because I know that I can be very good at these kind of games, but going into the second month without laser weapons is a challenge. But in the original game, in Enemy Unknown, it would probably be an insurmountable challenge. But with access to mech troopers, it's very doable by leaning very heavily on the mech trooper. So that's my thought. I have to decide what level of risk I'm comfortable with. Oh man, it's so funny, really. It is. It's funny. It is in its own way. Okay, alright, that's it for now. I don't want to do a great big long... Well, I can't really. I can't do the abduction until I've made the decision. It's either engineers or scientists. I'm gonna go digging through the Wikipedia as well and just have a think about satellite scientist rewards, because so here's another thing which I need to think about, but I'll just explain it to you guys. If I go for satellite spam, then what I have to do is I have to put a satellite over Brazil, and I have to put one over Australia, and then I have to put one over the other two countries mentioned in the abduction mission. Now, each country, and I'll have to look it up, but each country offers, if you've got a satellite over them, they give you a reward at the end of each mission, which can be extra money, scientists, or engineers. So what I need to identify is when I put my satellites over these countries, because obviously which ones it's going to be is determined for me. When I fire my satellites over these countries, what rewards are they going to give me? Because if they're going to reward me with scientists, then that's really good. That means that I'm better off taking the engineers and risking falling behind on research slightly, because a big influx of scientists would be really helpful. But if the rewards that they offer is engineers, then I'm going to be drowning in engineers and still not have any scientists, and that's going to be a big problem. So that's something else I need to look at. I just wish that this information was in the game and you didn't have to go and look it up. That's one big flaw of the game, in my opinion. So, that is it for now. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's a whole lot of talking in this one and a whole lot of strategic stuff, but it's really important because the run, it will be decided here. If I go for satellite spam, and I think I probably will, but I'll think about it, and then I get wiped out in combat, it may be because I didn't decide to push my combat gear harder and go for scientists and unlock stuff like laser weapons earlier. But conversely, if I go for the scientists and unlock laser weapons and still get wiped out, well, that's I mean, that sucks. But if I go for scientists and laser weapons and so on, and I build up that, and economically I start to really suffer, then that's not great either. This is a more survivable situation, I think. Okay, alright. That's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry, no combat on this one, but there was a lot to do, and a lot to think about. And this first month is so critical for this reason. I was not expecting to get the abduction in time for this decision to be one that I had to make. But it has occurred in time, and I can make the choice. So now I have to make the choice. Okay, I'll see you guys next time.